An ammonia leak sends more than a dozen workers to the hospital and closes down a major factory in southeast Wisconsin. We'll share the latest from Walworth County.
And anyone living in public housing across the country won't be allowed to smoke in their own homes starting today. We'll hear from the American Lung Association about the change.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning. It's Monday, July 30th. You couldn't ask for a prettier sunrise out there.
Been nice.
It's a beautiful start to the day.
Yeah.
We continue this comfortable weather that we've been having the last couple of days. We'll go through the first part of this week. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam.
Nice.
Sun is up. Yeah, this is a nice shot this morning. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. A little bit of fog through the Wisconsin River Valley this morning. Otherwise, it doesn't seem to be a main problem for any other areas. Here's a look at our current temperature readings. We're down 1 degree, 56 here in Madison. 57 in the Dells, 57 in Platteville, 59 now in Janesville. Temperatures are expected to warm nicely through the day and rather quickly, already back into the mid-70s by lunchtime, hitting highs in the low 80s. Just like yesterday, a few spotty showers or isolated thunderstorms will be possible this afternoon. A look at your first alert traffic this morning will start north of the area in Friendship. This is a picture sent in by a viewer to our newsroom earlier of a structure fire there that has closed parts of Main Street or Highway 13 in Friendship this morning. So be aware of that. You'll likely have to route around that scene. Here in Madison, we're not seeing any major delays just yet. A few brake lights showing up on Stoughton Road. Otherwise, things are going pretty smoothly so far in Madison. You're still going at posted speeds heading into the city.
It's days like this, weeks like this, really, that I like the morning show because we get all day to go enjoy the sun.
Yeah, to enjoy the weather. It's going to be beautiful today.
All right.
No complaints from me.
Thank you, Addie.
You're welcome.
1 minute after the hour, we start this morning in Walworth County, where there is no word when a frozen food plant will reopen after an ammonia leak sent 15 workers to the hospital over the weekend. More than 100 emergency crews had to respond to the Bird's Eye Foods facility in Darien around 5:15 yesterday morning. It's about an hour southeast of Madison, just off I-43. Now, of those 15 workers taken to the hospital, 3 were kept overnight. That's according to media reports out of Milwaukee. 75 other workers were treated by paramedics at the scene. The Walworth County Sheriff says the EPA, OSHA have been notified and that they do not believe there is any danger to the people who live in that area. They're still trying to determine the cause, though. We'll share any updates throughout the day on channel3000.com.
Fort Atkinson police are still looking for a father who took his 3 children without their mother's permission last week and hasn't been seen since. Police say Wee Chu called his wife on Monday around 10 o'clock in the morning, telling her he was at Chicago's O'Hare Airport and was going to take their 3 kids to China. The wife says she told Chu she wanted to pick up the kids, but he hung up. Authorities confirmed Chu and his kids never boarded a flight there. He left in a white 2015 Ford F-150 with the Wisconsin plate number right there on your screen. He also had $7,000 and his children's birth certificates in tow. The car was last seen in West Virginia on Wednesday. Anyone with information about Chu or where he and his kids might be this morning should call Fort Atkinson Police.
Dane County Court will have jury selection starting today for the tenant accused of killing his 82-year-old landlord. We're talking about 53-year-old John Jack Hammond, who's accused of killing Agnes Bram last May as she was renting him a home at her house, or renting him a room at her house on University Avenue in Middleton. The medical examiner said her autopsy indicated she died after being hit in the head. Prosecutors say Hammond had lived in Bram's house for 6 months before he reportedly killed her. He is facing the possibility of life in prison without parole if he is convicted of first-degree murder.
Up near Wausau this morning, the Merrill community is trying to find the person responsible for damaging more than 100 headstones at a local cemetery. On Sunday, people drove through the Memorial Park Cemetery to see if any of the headstones of their loved ones were still intact. Police say the damage is pretty extensive there. They're still working to document it all and find out who did it. One local business is now offering up a reward for anyone who might have information that leads to an arrest.
We're continuing to highlight all the help being offered for those affected by the explosion in Sun Prairie earlier this month. The Sunshine Place today is asking for volunteers to help organize storage space, help unload a large delivery of household goods for families who are out of their homes because of that explosion. The nonprofit needs about 20 volunteers today to help with that delivery. This is going to go from about 2:30 to 6:30 this afternoon. If you can help, you can call the Sunshine Place at the number you see there on the screen. 6:04 right now. Starting today, smoking is going to be banned in all public housing. This comes as a new smoke-free housing rule goes into effect from the federal government.
Public health experts here in Madison say it means families across Wisconsin will be healthier. Our Josh Spreiter is live outside public housing near Brittingham Park this morning with how this will affect you at home. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. The smoking ban comes as Wisconsin is marking its 8th anniversary of the state's smoke-free air law. That has already been highly successful and popular. Officials say taking the clean air movement into multi-unit housing recognizes that the vast majority of people who want a smoke-free workplace also want their homes to be smoke-free. While this is a huge step forward for public health, the American Lung Association recognizes that quitting smoking or even cutting back can be a tremendous hurdle for some smokers. But experts say this is a nice start for smokers to quit.
They don't smoke as often or as much. They think about it a little bit more. It usually causes them to reflect, thinking, would this be a good opportunity for me to quit? Because we also know that about 70% of smokers want to quit, and this might provide the motivation they need.
The Lung Association has already completed several successful programs throughout Wisconsin and is scheduling others to begin here in the near future. As far as punishments, if you're caught smoking in public housing, officials say most places will start with a warning, and then you can even face fines and even get evicted. We've put more resources on how officials are hoping to help those looking to quit right now at channel3000.com.
All right, our Josh Spreiter reporting live for us this morning. Thanks, Josh.
6:06 right now. A number of Wisconsinites could see cheaper health care costs next year. This comes after Governor Walker announced on Sunday the federal government has granted his request to offer what he's calling a reinsurance program. The $200 million plan is intended to stabilize the health care market, lower premium costs next year. The governor says his goal is to attract more health care providers to that private marketplace.
Part of the key with this is working with insurers and others who said they would respond by more re-entering the marketplace and by looking to engage in this program.
The governor says premiums will drop an average of 3.5% in 2019 for those consumers who buy health insurance through the Affordable Care Act. That decrease comes after a 44% increase this year. A spokesperson for the Wisconsin Democratic Party, though, said the governor's plan does nothing to help lower health care costs for the vast majority of Wisconsinites who do not participate in the health exchange.
Governor Walker is up for re-election this fall, and security experts say that race and others here in Wisconsin are at risk of cyber attacks. The Wisconsin Center for Investigative Journalism reports that security experts say Wisconsin is a target this year for Russian hackers. Those attacks could come in the form of fake news on social media, similar to what we saw back in the 2016 elections. Experts say Wisconsin's voting systems are also vulnerable, though county clerks say their voting machines are not connected to the internet and should be safe. The state will have 6 new security positions in place for this midterm election to help improve security.
Madison city leaders are asking for applications to replace the 3rd Madison alder to resign from the Common Council so far this summer alone. The Common Council's executive committee will recommend somebody to succeed Alder Sarah Eskridge within the next month. The District 13 alder posted on the council's website she's giving up her seat next week to work at an executive position in Brookfield. Council President Samba Balde is accepting applications now through Friday at noon to finish out Eskridge's term, which runs through next spring. Her district includes the Vilas, Greenbush, and Bay Creek neighborhoods. 6:08 right now. There is a local effort to help find a cure for type 1 diabetes in honor of a boy who died from this disease. We'll take you out to Jesse Palooza and hear from his mother on how it's helping others.
And it looks like another nice summer day to start out your work week. Maybe take lunch out on the porch today. Sunny and warm with a small chance for storms in the afternoon. Hattie's going to update your first alert forecast when News 3 This Morning returns.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. We have a nice start to this Monday morning. Sun is up, skies are mostly clear here, and temperatures are very comfortable. We're coming off a beautiful day yesterday. As far as those high temperatures are concerned, we had highs near 80 degrees, relatively low humidity. There were some pop-up showers and thunderstorms, though, across the area, and some of those thunderstorms produced some pretty heavy rain in a short amount of time. One of those impacting the west side of Madison. Another heavier thunderstorm up in Sauk County yesterday. But you can see how spotty those showers were. Not everyone saw that rain yesterday. And a look at Doppler track this morning. It's pretty quiet around here. There's a cluster of showers and thunderstorms well to our south in Oklahoma, moving into Texas this morning. That has prompted a severe thunderstorm watch. But for the upper Midwest, things are pretty quiet right now. Temperatures are going to hover close to normal for the start of the work week. Normal highs in the low 80s, but note that normal trend. We've already passed the warmest normals of the year, so now those average high temperatures are starting to go down. We're not going to go down too much, though. In fact, we're going to heat it up for this upcoming weekend with heat and humidity returning to the area. We're right on track, though, today as far as our forecast compared to those normals. Our sunrise occurred at 8:46 this morning. Sunsets at 8:21. Here's a look at visibility. Some improvement in Lone Rock, which is great news, but still visibility right around a quarter of a mile in Boscobel. So we're dealing with a little patchy river valley fog this morning. Temperatures in most spots are in the 50s. 57 in Platteville, 58 in Prairie du Chien this morning. Mineral Point starts at 57, and we're down to 56 here in Madison. Future track will show you what to expect today. And again, sunshine through the morning hours. Some clouds rolling in for the afternoon, or I should say developing in the area this afternoon. And a few showers popping up here and there. Isolated rumbles of thunder are possible as well. No severe weather expected today, but there could be a brief heavy downpour of rain. Any activity, though, diminishes as the sun sets. Here's a look at that precipitation potential map. Most areas picking up less than 1/10 of an inch today. But if you do find yourself under one of those stronger thunderstorms, you could get a quick quarter to half inch of rain. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. More of the same in the forecast for tomorrow. Highs in the low 80s, spotty afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Then on Wednesday, it looks like most of the day will be dry. A cold front moving through the area brings some thunderstorms to the region late Wednesday into Thursday. We do get back into the mid-80s, though, for the upcoming weekend. Now let's get a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Well, we're starting off with a structure fire in Adams County in the town of Friendship. It has all lanes of Highway 13 north and southbound closed between County Highway J and West Street. You will need to take another route. There's real no word on how much longer it'll be shut down. They're a quiet start on here on the Madison roadways. So far, no issues popping up on the Beltline in either direction. Heading eastbound, though, you may be dealing with the sun in a little bit, so make sure you have those shades along. Checking out Tain County, there are a few brake lights on the northbound side of Verona Road, along with Stoughton Road approaching the Beltline ramps. No problems at all downtown around the Capitol Square and UW campus. Volume is definitely not a factor at this point. And other main routes heading into Madison, they're cruising along at the posted speeds with no major crashes or issues. For your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Hattie. Now, if you haven't experienced the long backups to find a parking spot for concerts on the square yet, this week is your last chance. The Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra will hold its last performance of the series on Wednesday. The featured performer this week is Jubilant Sykes. It's a Grammy-nominated baritone player. The concert starts at 7 p.m.
Madison hikers will likely soon be able to travel farther west on the Ice Age Trail. The city's Plan Commission's meeting today to talk about expanding the Ice Age Trail near University Ridge Golf Course and establish a new nature park there. Members would need to amend the current Parks Division budget to buy a 40-acre plot of land in that area. That's going to cost the city $1.5 million. Dane County, $500,000. City and county officials are also planning to create a natural park area on that land with walking and cross-country trails as well.
There is more money this morning for researchers to study diabetes, thanks to the memory of a local boy who died from the illness. Jesse Palooza is a benefit for multiple diabetes organizations. Jesse's mother has held this event for the past 9 years after her son died in 2010 from type 1 diabetes. The event raises money for diabetes research and childhood diabetes groups through a silent auction and raffle tickets there. Now, since this all started, Jesse's mom says they've raised more than $200,000.
We put this on not only to raise funds for multiple charities in the diabetes world, but also most important to me is to remember my son's spirit and who he is and what he still does today for diabetes.
Even the band playing at this event had special meaning. The lead singer of Honey Shot used to teach Jesse guitar. They've performed every year since it started.
More than 100 women die of metastatic breast cancer every day. There's one woman here in Madison with that disease who is not letting it stop her from helping save others. Mary Goose was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer when a scan showed that cancer cells had actually then traveled to her hip bone. She knows she is dying slowly, but when she and her husband Rob learned about how little money is spent fighting the disease, they decided to do something about it.
Less than 7% of all monies goes into metastatic breast cancer. And I thought, this is not enough. We need to do something, maybe not to save my life, but to save future generations.
Nearly 30% of women diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer will develop what is called MET. So you're seeing Mary there in the water. She is swimming to change that statistic. Her goal is to raise $1 million for the UW Carbone Cancer Center. She's doing a number of swimming fundraisers around the area. Charlotte DeLeste shares how Mary's doing something good tonight, only on News 3 at 10.
Almost 6:18 your time now. In case you're looking for a reason to kick it into high gear at the gym, you're about to see a lot of really
lots of reallys right there.
Fit people in Madison. I mean, look at that. That's really fit. We'll have a preview of the CrossFit Games and how it's beefing up the local economy this week.
They're rowing a lot faster than I ever did at the gym. Not a bad day to be outside for a workout. You're looking at the Queen Bee Radio Skycam there. Sunrise in Platteville this morning. Hattie is sharing a nice forecast, although there is a small chance for some rain. We'll ask her if and when we can expect it when News 3 This Morning returns.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. Starting off our Monday morning with some sunshine early today. A live look from the Edgewater Skycam showing you clear skies, sun hitting the buildings in downtown Madison already. It's 56 degrees here in the capital city, 59 this morning in Mineral Point, as well as Janesville, and 61 still in Monroe. Our forecast today does call for temperatures to warm quickly. We're headed into the mid-70s by lunchtime, topping at 81 this afternoon. And just like yesterday, a few spotty showers or isolated thunderstorms will be possible through the afternoon. Same forecast pretty much for us tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, looks like rain chances will hold off until later in the day or at night. Have a wonderful day.
All right, thanks, Hattie. The busiest moving season of the year in Madison starts this week, and the city's reminding folks to follow the trash and recycling guidelines as they start schlepping their stuff from one place to another. That includes separating garbage from recyclables to reduce the amount of junk that goes into landfills during August move-in days. The Streets Division says every year Madison contributes 1 million pounds of garbage to the landfill during that time. People are encouraged to flatten cardboard boxes and to leave the city-owned garbage and recycling carts for the next tenant.
Some of the world's best athletes are in Madison this week for the start of the annual CrossFit Games here in Madison. The games start Wednesday, run through August 5th. More than 500 athletes are competing for the title of Fittest on Earth. City leaders say more than 70,000 people who are not as fit actually went to last year's event near the Alliant Energy Center, and it generated around $12 million in spending throughout Dane County. Madison police officers will be directing traffic in the area, so you can expect delays on John Nolan and Rimrock Road, as well as on the Beltline at those exits over the next couple of weeks.
What do you think? You going to try CrossFit after watching that?
I am absolutely not going to be trying CrossFit.
Come on.
Can't do that. Come on. I'm almost 50 years old. I can't do what those people are doing.
Age is but a number, Adam.
There you go. 6:23 from your words to my ears, apparently. We are keeping an eye on Highway 13 in Adams County this morning. It's still closed along Main Street in the village of Friendship because of a fire there. We'll check on your first alert traffic after the break.
And the Milton School District is hoping the third time's a charm for a referendum that might be coming a little later than expected. We're going to take a look at the reason behind the delay and why they're on try 3 when News 3 this morning continues. A new ban on smoking in public housing wants to help people kick the habit for good.
Madison police are looking for the person who started shooting while a group mourned the victim of a fatal shooting 20 years ago.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the final half hour of News 3 This Morning. 6:27 right now on this Monday, a very nice Monday, 56 degrees, July 30th.
Can't complain. A little bit less humidity. We've had a nice stretch lately. Hattie's enjoying it outside already. Hattie, how you doing?
Not bad. It is a beautiful morning to be outside this morning, guys. We have sunshine already, and as you mentioned, low humidity. That trend will continue today. Take a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. Skies are clear as we look to the west of the station this morning. I'm not seeing anything showing up on satellite and radar trends around the area. Temperatures are in the 50s in many spots, so it was a comfortable sleeping night. We are going to see a pretty quick warm up today, though. Temperatures will be back in the mid-70s by lunchtime, climbing to a high of 81 degrees a little bit later on this afternoon. Now, just like yesterday, some spotty afternoon showers or thunderstorms will be possible today. Here's a look at your first alert traffic update this morning. All morning, we've been alerting you that there's a road closure in Friendship. This is Highway 13, Main Street, otherwise closed due to a structure fire there between J and West Street. So right around that area if you need to this morning. Otherwise, here in Madison, we're not seeing major delays on the Beltline just yet. There are some slowdowns, though, on Stoughton Road. Here's a look at your drive times and speeds. Heading into Madison, nothing happening right now that's going to slow you down too much. And that's your first alert traffic.
All right, thanks, Hattie. 6:28 your time now on this Monday morning. And starting today, anyone smoking in public housing in Madison could get a warning, face a fine, maybe even get kicked out of their apartment if they don't stop.
It's part of a new federal government policy to create smoke-free housing. Josh Sprider is outside a public housing unit near downtown Madison this morning with the latest. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. Officials say this ruling will mean healthier families across Wisconsin, but they're still standing by those wanting to quit smoking, as officials know it is not easy to do so. The American Lung Association of Wisconsin says it is proud to partner with local agencies to provide free access to quit smoking counseling and support, which it says is key to helping individuals overcome smoking addiction. This smoking ban comes as Wisconsin also marks its 8th anniversary of the state's highly successful and popular smoke-free air law. Officials say this is a big win for non-smokers, but also smokers.
So whatever best suits your needs, if you want to even give an attempt at quitting smoking, this would be the time, because you can do it for free.
Experts say taking the clean air movement into multi-unit public housing recognizes that the vast majority of people who want a smoke-free workplace also want their homes to be smoke-free. If you'd like to learn more about this ban or need help in the fight against smoking addiction, we've put a link to those free resources at channel3000.com.
And you're facing some pretty serious penalties there. Fine, maybe even getting evicted out of your home. All right, our Josh
Yes,
Sprider
certainly
reporting.
so. They've kind of got those steps going there for you, so they're not taking things lightly.
All right, our Josh Sprider reporting live for us this morning. Thanks, Josh.
6:30 right now. Madison police are investigating who fired a gun during an event at Elver Park over the weekend. Hundreds of people, including dozens of kids, ran away after hearing the shots on the city's west side. Witnesses told officers they were remembering a victim in a fatal shooting 20 years ago when somebody fired about 3 rounds into the air. We'll have any updates from the police department today on channel3000.com.
7 people are without a home this morning after a fire in Janesville over the weekend. Police say it happened around 10 Saturday night on East Court Street near Parker Park. When crews got there, heavy smoke was already pouring out of the windows. All 7 residents did get out safely. They're getting help from the Red Cross this morning. That cause isn't known yet, but damage is pegged at around $40,000.
We do know the cause of the fire in Beloit that happened on Friday. Beloit firefighters say somebody smoking caused that fire over in an apartment building there. Nobody was hurt, but about 35 people were forced out of their homes early Friday morning, and they were out still over the weekend. There are 8 apartments in that building. Firefighters estimate the damage to be nearly $400,000. The Madison man accused of doing a chemical experiment that led to his West Side apartment complex being evacuated is expected back in court today for his final appearance before his trial starts later this year. A not guilty plea was entered on Brian Campbell's behalf back in March. The people who live in 25 units in his building on Timberlake Trail had to evacuate their homes after smelling chemicals. Hazmat crews and science officers from the Army National Guard investigated, determined it was not related to terrorist activity. Campbell is still charged with 2 felonies, including endangering safety and having bomb-making materials.
In Rock County this morning, Milton taxpayers might soon get a say in the plans to upgrade their school district, but that vote might come a little later than they expected. The Janesville Gazette reports the district decided against a November referendum because the August deadline for resolutions was coming just too soon. Instead, the district will try for a vote in April. This will be Milton's 3rd try at a referendum in just the past 2 years. One board member says that means this one needs to be done right. Contractors say, though, the delay would increase construction costs from $8.8 million to $9.2. Back in Madison, there's a new restaurant coming to town that's focusing on serving food with a greater cause in mind. It's Chef Dave Heidi's idea. He wants to take leftover or wasted food from local grocery stores to make those meals and work off of a pay-what-you-can system. He also plans to employ military vets who might have a hard time getting back into the workforce. Heidi already owns 2 restaurants named after 2 of his kiddos, Liliana's and Charlie's. He'll name this new one Little John after his 3rd son. There is no opening date or location picked yet.
10 major companies are suing the city of Janesville over their land assessments, and it could lead to property taxes increasing for everybody else in that city. Janesville Gazette reports Walmart, Sam's Club, Lowe's, and the owner of the Janesville Mall are among those companies suing the city. They're arguing their assessments should be comparable to similar-sized buildings that are currently vacant. So-called dark store loophole allows businesses to be taxed on their buildings at the rate of a similar-sized property that's currently empty. Efforts to end that loophole failed earlier this year at the state capitol. If those 10 companies win their lawsuits, the city of Janesville would lose more than $26 million annually in property tax revenue.
People who live in Delavan might have another grocery store option coming soon. The Janesville Gazette reports that Meyer wants to buy a 30-acre plot of land in that city and build a 160,000 square foot store and gas station. It would be right next to the old Geneva Lakes Kennel Club, just east of I-43. Now, that entire project would cost around $30 million. The city still has to review the application, and a commission will weigh in next month before the whole plan goes to city council. Delavan's also getting a new fleet farm come October. 6:34 your time now. You're waking up to a ton of sun, maybe a great pool day for the Schrager kids. If we can dodge the storms Hattie says we might be seeing this afternoon. None of us do, right? Your Monday morning first alert forecast is up in about 10 minutes.
And we love people helping people stories here on the program. We're going to take you out to the Rock County Fair where there is a $10,000 pig. A pig, yeah, to helping to save kids with cancer. That story's next on News 3 this morning. Welcome back to the program on this Monday morning. It's the time of the morning we always ask you to share a little bit of what's going on in your world with us, and I am back on a flower kick, Leah. Lynn posted this on our Facebook page. I love the color. I can't grow flowers along these lines. I'm horrible gardening. We talked with this about Pam earlier this morning.
Flower
Horrible
kick's
gardener,
not a
but
bad thing, though.
Anyway, it's beautiful. So thank you very much for sharing, Lynn.
And what does your morning look like? Take a picture, post it on our Facebook page, maybe on Twitter, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share our favorites like we always do right here on News 3 This Morning.
Wisconsin's newest museum is trying to get people involved in the farm-to-table process, showing them what it's like to keep a farm up and running every day. The $13 million Farm Wisconsin Discovery Center opened in Manitowoc County this weekend. Visitors can climb onto a combine simulator, learn about the crops grown throughout the state, and see baby calves being born. How cool is that? The museum's in the town of Newton. That's about 2.5 hours north of Madison off I-43. It's open 7 days a week. You can find out more at farmwisconsin.org.
A 15-year-old at the Rock County 4-H Fair this weekend is doing something good for kids with cancer.
He's donating the proceeds from a 6-month-old pig, Rue, to B&B. It's an organization that funds research for neuroblastoma. The Janesville Gazette reports Waylon Klitzman auctioned off his pig 4 times after buyers kept donating it back. In total, Rue sold for more than $10,000. Waylon said he got the idea after his Evansville high school teacher, Kim Katzenmeyer, retired to devote her time fighting neuroblastoma. We told you about her 4-year-old niece, Harlow, who's fighting that cancer. Earlier this month, Harlow's father broke ground on a house he plans to sell to donate that to research.
Lots of people helping people in that story right there.
Good stuff.
6:39 your time now. A Monday, much better when there's some sun to wake up to. That's the story for the next couple of days here in Madison. Hattie is watching the radar for some storms this afternoon, though. We're going to get our first alert forecast coming up.
First, though, it is July 30th. We want to say happy birthday to Kyler, Lewis, and all the other kiddos out there turning 3 today. Thanks so much for watching News 3 This Morning. Taking a live look outside right now on the west side of Madison. Beautiful morning today. Small chance of some storms later this afternoon. Hattie's first alert forecast is coming up. First, though, stock markets around the world are down today as there are fears of a possible government shutdown. The president tweeted yesterday he wants immigration reform before any new government spending measure is passed in Congress. And this comes as the economy grew at its fastest pace in nearly 4 years during the second quarter of 2018. You're seeing Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin there. He says he expects a period of 4 or 5 years of sustained growth. Some economists, though, say the latest numbers benefited from a one-time boost in soybean exports to avoid tariffs and investments in the oil and gas industry that may not last.
Some bad news for your wallet when it comes to the gas pump, at least. AAA says gas prices are likely going to stay high throughout the rest of the summer and possibly into the fall because of a drop in crude oil supply. Wisconsin's average is right around $2.79 this morning. Here in Madison, you're going to pay around $2.74.
The new Milwaukee Bucks arena will not offer people plastic straws. The Fiserv Forum isn't the only NBA stadium where customers are going to find compostable food packaging. Brooklyn's Barclays Center will also phase out plastic straws by next year. The home of the Brooklyn Nets will use strawless drink lids or straws made with compostable materials going forward. Earlier this month, the city of Seattle became the first major U.S. city to ban plastic straws because of their environmental impact.
And the best news of the day is that sunrise out there this morning. Lots of sun to start out your Monday. Right, Hattie?
That's right. If it has to be a Monday, we might as well start with sunny skies. Take a look at the July temperatures. Almost ready to end the month of July. Hard to believe. It's been a real up and down month. Periods of warmer than average temperatures, but we've recently been in a little bit of a cooler stretch with temperatures a little bit below normal. For the month, though, we're 1.2 degrees above normal when you factor in the highs and lows. Now, the Climate Prediction Center has issued the August temperature outlook, and it is looking quite warm for most of the country, especially the Pacific Northwest. Southern parts of Texas as well as Florida have a pretty good chance for above normal temperatures. We do have a slightly higher chance to see above normal temperatures here across Wisconsin. Satellite and radar trends this morning showing you all the storms working around us today. We don't have anything showing up on the radar map around here right now. This area of low pressure is going to pass to our south today, but there still is enough moisture in the atmosphere to see a few pop-up showers and isolated thunderstorms during the afternoon. Again, that's today, just like yesterday. No major changes into the forecast for tonight then. Those showers will diminish as the sun sets, but once again on Tuesday, as things start to heat up in the afternoon, a few showers and isolated thunderstorms are possible once again. The next weather maker through the middle of the week will be this cold front working its way across Minnesota into Wisconsin, bringing a chance for rain late Wednesday into Thursday. We'll start this morning, though, with temperatures in the 50s. A few 60s around us, 62 in Des Moines, 63 in Minneapolis, as well as Chicago and Detroit this morning. But here in Wisconsin, we generally have 50s. Watertown is 58 degrees. We're 56 here in Madison. Janesville's 59, and Mineral Point is 61 degrees. Here's a look at your dew points. Again, they're going to stay relatively low, getting back to around 60. So some folks may notice a little bit of the humidity today, but it shouldn't be too high. Pinpoint City forecast highs today with that chance for some showers and isolated thunderstorms. Stoughton will top at 78 degrees, 79 in Watertown. Beloit will reach a high of 81 degrees. To the west, we're likely to see temperatures in the upper 70s as well, 78 in Prairie du Chien and Platteville and Darlington. And to the north, again, 78 in Baraboo, 79 in Prairie du Sac, 80 today in Montello. Here in Madison, temperatures will top right around 80 degrees, 81 for the high. Chance for a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, and then again tomorrow. Same thing during the afternoon, a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. The rain should hold off until much later in the day on Wednesday. I think most of the day will be dry. Then on Thursday, we're back into the 70s. It does look like it's going to heat up around here for the upcoming weekend and turn a bit more humid. Here's our pet walk forecast. Ooh, I love this close-up. Oh, it says it all. Simba and Baraboo.
Yeah.
I'm hungry too.
Yeah. Doing a little cleaning.
That's
maybe.
cute though.
Gotta get that nose clean going.
The look in the eyes though says it all.
That's good. So like, get away from me?
Yeah.
You mean that
I
one?
think so.
Stop with your camera?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next on News 3 This Morning. 6:50 your time now. Time for the morning sprint. Hattie says it's going to be a nice start to the day, but you'll want to keep an eye out for thunderstorms this afternoon.
Josh Breiter's reporting on the new smoking ban for all public housing across the country. But we start in Walworth County this morning, where there's no word when a frozen food plant will reopen after a pneumonia leak sent 15 workers to the hospital over the weekend. 75 other workers at the Bird's Eye Foods plant in Darien were treated by paramedics at the scene. The Walworth County Sheriff says the EPA has been notified that he doesn't believe there's any danger to the people who live in that area. There's no word yet on what caused that ammonia leak.
Fort Atkinson police are still looking for a father who took his 3 kids without their mother's permission last week and hasn't been seen since. Police say Wee Chu called his wife on Monday around 10 in the morning, telling her he was at Chicago's O'Hare Airport and was going to take their 3 kids to China. Authorities confirmed Chu and his children never boarded a flight. Chu left in a white 2015 Ford F-150 with the Wisconsin license plate number right there on your screen.
Madison police, meanwhile, are investigating who fired a gun during an event at Elver Park over the weekend. Hundreds of people, including dozens of kids, had to run away after hearing the shots on the city's west side. Witnesses told officers they were remembering the victim in a fatal shooting from 20 years ago when somebody fired about 3 rounds into the air.
Firefighters in Beloit say someone smoking caused a fire at an apartment building on Friday. No one was hurt, but about 36 people are out of their homes. The damage is pegged at nearly $400,000.
Happening today, all public housing here in Wisconsin will now have to be smoke-free. This follows the federal government's decision to be in full compliance with the HUD smoke-free housing rule. Health experts tell me this is a huge step forward for public health, a move they've been pushing for years now. But while this is a big step forward, the American Lung Association recognizes that quitting smoking or even cutting back can be a tremendous hurdle for some smokers. That's why they'll be offering free quit smoking support for residents. This month, Wisconsin is also marking its 8th anniversary of the smoke-free air law. We have a link to those free resources right now at channel3000.com.
And our forecast today starts with some sunshine. Temperatures in the 50s, but will climb quickly into the 60s, heading to highs right around 81 degrees later on this afternoon. Now, there is a chance for a few showers and isolated thunderstorms to pop up. Best time frame would be later on this afternoon. And that's your...
Thank you, Hattie. Jury selection starts today at Dane County Court for the tenant accused of killing his 82-year-old landlord. We're talking about John Jack Hammond. The 53-year-old man's accused of killing Agnes Bram last May as she was renting him a room at her house on University Avenue in Middleton. He's facing the possibility of life in prison without parole if he's convicted of first-degree murder.
The man accused of experimenting with dangerous chemicals and forcing residents out of their West Madison apartment will be in court today. Brian Campbell pleaded not guilty back in March. Residents in about 25 units in his apartment building on Timberlake Trail had to evacuate after they smelled chemicals there. Campbell is charged with endangering safety and possession of improvised explosives.
A number of Wisconsinites could pay less in health care costs next year. This comes after the governor announced on Sunday the federal government has granted his request to offer a reinsurance program. The $200 million plan is intended to stabilize the health care market, lower premium costs in 2019. The governor says his goal is to attract more health care providers to the private marketplace.
Experts say Wisconsin is a target for Russian cyber attacks in the upcoming November election. The Wisconsin Center for Investigative Journalism reports those attacks could come in the form of fake news on social media, similar to what we saw in the 2016 elections. Experts say Wisconsin's voting systems are also vulnerable, though county clerks say their voting machines aren't connected to the internet and should be safe. The state will have 6 new security positions in place for the November election to help improve security.
Madison's Common Council's Executive Committee will recommend somebody to succeed Alder Sarah Eskridge within the next month. The District 13 Alder posted on the council's website she is giving up her seat next week to work in an executive position in Brookfield. Council President Samba Balde is accepting applications now through Friday at noon to finish out Eskridge's term, which runs through next spring. Her district includes the Vilas, Greenbush, and Bay Creek neighborhoods.
Milton taxpayers might soon get a say in the plans to upgrade their school district. The Janesville Gazette reports the district decided against a November referendum because the August deadline for resolutions was just too soon. Instead, the district will try for a vote in April. Contractors say the delay would increase construction costs, though, up from $8.8 million to $9.2. This will be Milton's third try at a referendum in the past 2 years.
In Sun Prairie, the Sunshine Place is asking for volunteers today to help unload a large delivery of household goods for families who are out of their homes because of the downtown explosion earlier this month. The nonprofit needs about 20 volunteers to help from 2:30 to 6:30 this afternoon. If you are interested, you can call the Sunshine Place find that information on channel3000.com.
Some of the world's best athletes are in Madison this week for the start of the annual CrossFit Games. The event starts Wednesday and runs through August 5th. Athletes are competing for the title of Fittest on Earth. Officers will be directing traffic in the area of the Alliant Energy Center, so you can expect some delays on John Nolan and Rimrock Road, as well as on the Beltline at those exits over the next couple of weeks.
If you want to get fit, you may have an opportunity to travel further west soon on the Ice Age Trail. The city's Plan Commission is meeting today to talk about expanding the Ice Age Trail near University Ridge Golf Course and to establish a new nature park there. Members do need to amend the current Parks Division budget, though, to buy a 40-acre plot of land in that area. That land would cost the city $1.5 million, and Dane County an additional $500,000. All right, 6:56 right now. State Highway has been closed this morning for the last few hours because of a fire. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim for a check on your first alert traffic. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. You're looking at Adams County. All lanes of Highway 13 are closed between County Highway J and West Street because of a structure fire in the Village of Friendship. You will need to take another route while that's being put out. Westbound Beltline here in Madison is picking up with a few slowdowns between Monona Drive and West Broadway. That's going to add an extra minute or two. Inbound John Olin, you're tapping the brakes between Rimrock and Olin Avenue moving into the downtown area. And other main routes heading into Madison, they're cruising along at the posted speeds with no major crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks so much, Josh.
And our forecast today does start with plenty of sunshine across the area. That is the good news. We're going to see pretty mild conditions today. Take a live look from the Edgewater Skycam downtown Madison. We're looking at clear skies this morning. Temperatures starting in the 50s and 60s, climbed highs in the 80s. Just that chance for rain.
We're going to keep watching those chances for rain. Download our First Alert weather app to stay in touch. Have a good day.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert weather app and start planning.